Good morning and warm welcome to all the participants. And thank you once again for that introduction, ma'am. Yes. Today I'm just going to talk about this topic on publishing a non-fiction book. Just let me tell you before I begin, why me? Why should I give this webinar? It's not because I have just written some groundbreaking books. And it is not just because I've got great royalty for my previous publications. And it is not even because I'm one of the bestsellers. Yeah. So as I said before, I'm not giving this webinar just because I have, came out with some groundbreaking books, but because I have just understood the nitty-gritties of book publication because I have published 5 books before this. And I thought I can just share with you the promises and pitfalls that a new publisher will come across. So it's always better to learn from others' mistakes than our own. So in that context, I am presenting this webinar. So let me give you an overview of what my webinar is going to be. I'm just going to focus on 2 broad aspects. The first one is, what are the different avenues for book publication? So anybody can publish in today's context with the volume of publishers we have. So, and there are also different models of publication. So I'm going to talk to you about the different avenues of book publication in the first part of my presentation. And then in the second part of my presentation, I am going to give you a content development protocol. Regardless of the publisher you choose, there is a kind of a protocol for developing content. So I'm just going to discuss secondly about the content development protocol. So let me share the screen and start my presentation. So we have 2 simple objectives, and ultimately the bottom line is, I want to convince you today that it is indeed difficult to write, but publishing is a cakewalk. This is my central message and the objective of today's talk. So let me open my presentation and just share my screen with you. Yes. So as I said, let us first discuss about the different avenues of publication. So different models of publishing. So I'm just admitting the participants who are joining now. So can you see the screen? Can someone text me if you can see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So we'll discuss about the different models. The first model of publishing is called as the Kindle direct publishing model. This is quite an impressive model for the first time publishers. Let's say that you're going to publish your book for the first time, and the advantage is you have a manuscript with you and you want your manuscript to quickly see daylight. Say about 48 hours, your book will be available in all leading bookstores like the Kindle Publishing House and the Amazon. And there will also be wide branding for your book. So if you want to go for such publication, you can go for Amazon KDP. This is called as the direct publication model. The advantages of this model is you will get a staggering royalty. They'll give you 70% of the sales and 30% is for Amazon KDP, and 70% they just give it to the book authors, which is quite a staggering sum. Actually, there are 4 steps in this model. The first step is you just have to log into Amazon KDP and just sign in. It's as simple as signing a Gmail account. Then in the second step, you will enter your book details. So after entering your book details, in the third step, you will have to design your own manuscript cover. There will be different manuscript covers there. So you can go and just choose your manuscript cover. And ultimately, since it is your book, you will be deciding the pricing. You have to be very judicious in deciding the pricing because it depends on the number of pages you have. So depending on the book, if you decide the pricing, I think if you are judicious in that, the sale of the copies will be better. So this Amazon direct publishing model is a simple model for anybody to publish. But let me give you a word of caution in this regard. Let's say you are a little negligent and overlook some errors and quickly publish your book. That could be determinal for your future book publications. So you got to ensure that it is error-free and then publish in KDP, Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing. So it's a great model. There is also an alternative model. So let me share the alternative models to you. That's the alternative models for direct publishing are sites like Lightning Source, the Apple iBook Creator. CreateSpace is also a very good company. You have Kobo Writing Life and Lulu. These are actually alternative models for Kindle Direct Publishing. So these are the alternative models. Let's say you have a lot of publications in Kindle and you don't want to repeat in the same publisher. In that case, you can go for alternative options. But the bottom line is, if you have decided that you are going to go for the Kindle Direct Publishing model, it is always advisable to go and publish it in KDP. And these are secondary options, because Kindle Direct Publishing are the leaders. They simply blow the competition out of the window. So it's always better to actually just go for Kindle Direct Publishing. So let me go to the another model. The next model is called as the republishing model. Let's say that you have a thesis. You want to republish your thesis. It could be a PhD thesis, or it could be a PG thesis, or you'll publish your dissertation. So if you want to republish it, of course, it will already be available in the government database. But however, if you want to republish it, there are good publishers. Just a minute, I will allow all people. Okay. So there are, if you are going to publish your dissertation, there are some good publishers like the Lambert Publishing House, the Cambridge Scholars, the Grimm Publishers, the Scholargram. Let me tell you, all these publication houses, the disadvantage is they do the entire branding for you and you get recognition for your work, because they reformat, you can reformat your work and publish in this. But the only thing is they don't give you any royalty. You are denied royalty, but thing is you get the recognition because you have that kind of branding. So this is an exciting avenue to explore. Another important thing is, none of these books I am referring to are in the Beall's list of predatory books. So in that regard, you can go ahead and publish your thesis in any of these publishing houses. But there is an exciting option ultimately that is called Springer India. This is the last one that I have given you here, called the Springer India. Recently, for the past 2 years, they have started publishing thesis. So if you want great recognition for your thesis and great royalty, of course you can publish in Springer India. And I would suggest, considering all these models, you can definitely opt for, yes, you can definitely opt for Springer India, because the Scopus indexed book publication. And another thing, let's say you are handling a particular course and you are not using any internet or online lectures or not course notes. You are preparing your own notes. In that case, Springer India also publishes lecture notes. So if you have any avenues to explore regarding publishing your thesis or publishing your lecture notes, then the best thing is, it would be advisable for you to go to any of these sites, especially Springer India. So this is a good option, and this model is called as the republishing model. So let me go to the other model, the third model. Let us say that you neither have the time nor the inclination to sit and design a cover page, to sit and prepare a blurb of the book, to market your book, to do the branding. What you have with you is just a manuscript, and you want your manuscript to see daylight. In that case, you can go for the paid self-publishing. You can just go for paid self-publishing. Just a minute. So this paid self-publishing model, I have just given you the link of the model below. For the paid self-publishing model, you can see the link below. You can just go and visit the link. Okay, you just go and visit the link. There are two options. There are two things I want to tell you. See, there are two versions in this. One version is called the basic version and the other version is called the premier version. If you just go for basic version, you just have to pay 8,000. They will do the entire branding for you. They will do the marketing for you. They'll do everything. But the fact is, they will not give you any complimentary copies. But if you go for a premier version where you pay 15,000, they'll give you complimentary copies. They'll do the entire branding for your book. So as I said, if you don't have the time to do the designing, or for the extremely busy people, they can go for the paid self-publishing. But among the academic fraternity, this kind of model is not much advisable. However, once your book sees daylight, people are not going to know whether it is a paid publishing, because ultimately it's just going to be the ISN and international book. And this book is not in this book also is not in the predatory list of books. So this is called as the paid self-publishing model. Let me just go to the next model. This model is called as publishing a paperback. So this model is publishing a paperback. See, I'll just give you the context of publishing a paperback. Let's say you are doing a research in a niche field and you don't want to publish it online because you have not completed your work. So in that case, you want to document your work because you are afraid that being a niche field, somebody will publish. In that case, you can apply or you can publish in a paperback. You can apply in a paperback version. Or let us say in your department, they are going to organize a conference and you're going to come out with a conference manual. So in that case also, you can publish in a paperback version. I'll tell you what are the formalities to do that. What is the procedure to publish a paperback? Or let us say 4 or 5 people in your department are doing some collaborative work and you want to bring it as a book. In that regard also, you can publish a paperback version. What you have to do is you just have to apply for an ISBN. And let me tell you, you will get your ISBN in 2 weeks, because earlier it was a cumbersome process. Actually, that agency is called as Raja Ram Mohan Roy National Agency for ISBN. If you just Google it, you will come to know. I have just given the link below. And in fact, in 2 weeks, you will get an ISBN. In fact, there is a YouTube video on how to get an ISBN in 1 week. If you are interested in going for a paperback publication, you may very well check that out. You know, this is how you can apply for an ISBN quickly, and you can, publish in a paperback. So again, paperback is also another exciting option to explore. As I said, for quick exploration and for quick publishing, Kindle Direct Publishing model, which we discussed earlier, 24 to 48 hours, your book will see daylight. These are the alternative forms of publication. In these alternative models, you could either go for Apple iBook Store or Kobo. These are very good. And after that, as I discussed, you can republish your, thesis in any of these publication houses, but it is always advisable to go for Springer India and publish there. And then the fourth thing I told you was about the paid self-publishing model for the extremely busy people who neither have the time nor the inclination to sit and do the design part of it. They can go for paid self-publication. And ultimately, I was just telling you about the publishing a paperback, where you can department-wise, you can come out with a print version of your book, or individually also you can print. What you have to do is you should apply for an ISBN. The procedure is simple. It is as simple as signing into a Gmail account. As you click the link below, there will be an application which will pop up. You have to just open the application, fill in all the details. It will ask you for the type of the book, or is it a conference proceeding. Whatever it is, you have to just give a description and you have to approve. And you will get a feedback, and you can follow the agency so that you get the ISBN in 2 weeks. So that's the maximum time, 2 weeks of ISBN. In 2 weeks, you will get the ISBN. ultimately, let me come to the most popular model. This model is called as the traditional publishing model. And this model is highly advisable for people who are seasoned campaigners, people who already had some kind of previous publications, book publications, who already have some kind of experience and who knows the nitty-gritties and the nuances of book publication. They can definitely go in for these kinds of publication. So I will tell you the process that is involved in traditional publication. Let us say that you want to publish on your specialized area a book. Let's say your book is on cognitive linguistics. So you are going to come out with a book on cognitive linguistics. So first you have to go to book houses like the Elsevier or the Wiley or the Routledge. There you have to browse for agents for your topic. Then you have to call your agent. You have to fix an appointment with an agent. After you fix an appointment with the agent, you have to pitch your idea. You just go to your agent. You should pitch your idea to them. Tell them this is your idea. This is what I'm going to do. If they are convinced, they'll ask you to go ahead and give you a proposal. And then you sit and prepare a proposal for your book. And not only that, they'll ask you for one complete chapter. Again, it depends. It varies from one publishing house to the other publishing house. So some publishing houses may even ask you to give 2 or 3 chapters. So after you give a sample chapter, it will be either approved or rejected. And after it is approved, a contract will be signed. It is by far the most complicated yet the most recognized model among the academic fraternity, especially the traditional publishing model. And let me tell you the advantages of this traditional publishing. See, traditional publishing advantage is as soon as you strike a deal or a contract, they give you an advance payment. Suppose 10,000 copies of your book are going to come out. You will get a 25% of an advance, which is actually a kind of a perk for you, where you can even afford, if you get good publishing houses, to sit full time and do a kind of a traditional publishing. And not only that, the second advantage is they give you an editor for guidance. He will guide you during all the phases of your publication, including the editing phase. And thirdly, they will do the entire pre-launch campaign. Pre-launch campaign refers to marketing your book before it comes to print. They will do all kind of strategies, branding strategies. And since they have really carved a niche for themselves in the designing aspect, they'll do the professional designing, the cover design also. Another thing you need not worry about traditional publishing is you will not have any issues in regard to copyright infringement or intellectual property rights. So copyright entirely they will take care. So on your part, you are absolutely safe. And finally, as I said, the marketing part, they will do the entire marketing part for you. So traditional publishing is by far the most complicated model, but definitely not recommended for people who publish their book initially. Maybe they have to just gain some kind of grounding and go in later for traditional publishing. But the most effective form of publishing for new researchers, new book publishers, is the Kindle Direct Publishing, because 48 hours your book will see daylight, A, and B, you will get a good royalty for your work. So this is my agenda A. Agenda A was today to tell you about the different avenues of publication or different publishing houses, and it is up to you to decide which model is the best model for you, because depending upon the person's expertise, they may choose the model. So my first objective, I hope I have fulfilled my first objective on helping you to identify what is the appropriate model for you to publish a book. So I hope you can choose any one of these models and publish in the model that you prefer. So having completed my agenda 1, let me move to agenda 2. Regardless of the publishing model you choose, whether it be a direct publishing model or a republishing model, or let's say if it is going to be an hybrid model or a traditional publishing model or developing a paperback, regardless of your model, there is a format to write which is called as content development protocol. So this content development protocol, in the lexicon of book writing, the content development protocol refers to a kind of a framework to write a book, and it is very similar to a book proposal. Let me explain each step in detail of the content development protocol. The content development protocol is just like a plan of a building, like a blueprint. Whether you're going to build a big bungalow or a small home, you need a plan. So the content development protocol is a kind of a plan for you to construct your edifice. Let's move to the first foundational step. That's called as the title page and selling page. You need to frame an appealing, enticing, and riveting title for your book. Let us look at these two samples. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey and Crucial Conversations by Patterson. These two books are the best sellers. Over 25 million copies were sold. Now, if you look at these two books, the title is very direct without ambiguity. There is no ambiguity. The author conveys what he intends to convey. So the first step is to come out with an enticing, crisp, concise title. That's very important in your title page. We usually say, do not judge a book by its cover, but we usually judge a book by its cover, don't we? Of course, there are other aspects. Later, we will decide whether to purchase the book or not after seeing the contents. But the initial appeal, we usually look at the book cover. So the cover design is extremely important. And the pivotal aspect of the cover design is a crisp title which conveys what you want to convey without any ambiguity. So that is A. B, the second thing is the selling sentence. Your title should be accompanied by selling sentence. Look at this title, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The selling sentence is powerful lessons in personal change. In one line, you should encapsulate the essence of your book. You should distill the entire idea, filter the idea, and present it in 1 or 2 sentences. That is called as the selling sentence. Again, if you look at the book Crucial Conversations, the selling sentence is tools for talking when the stakes are high. So your selling sentence is something that sells you the book initially. So A, come out with an appealing title. B, come out with a great selling sentence. And C, if you can find someone who can write a foreword for you, you can mention that with a foreword by in your cover. And provided you get a foreword from an established, highly reputed person who has really carved a niche for themselves in the industry, then it will add more value to your book. So if you do these 3 things, that is the initial step in the content development protocol. So the initial step in the content development protocol is to come out with a good title sentence, a good selling sentence, and a foreword by somebody. And this is applicable to regardless of the model, whether you're going to go for a traditional model or if you would go to any other model. This is the first step. Let us go to the second step. Second step is providing an anecdotal description of your book. In the proposal, you should give an anecdotal description. As they say, one good anecdote is worth a volume of biography. See, the anecdotal description refers to, let me go to this book on Crucial Conversations and give you an example of what anecdote is. This book, the author states how he ended up in writing this book, Crucial Conversations. He shares an interesting anecdote. He says, one day I was sitting in my class and my professor told me that, dear Patterson, you have great potential, but you are not doing justice to it by not listening to my class. For which the author responded, dear professor, I thank you very much for your appreciation and for the trust you have bestowed on me. But today, I have far more important things than your class. I hope you can understand. So when he said that, the professor totally mellowed down, and that is how I ended up in writing Crucial Conversations. So if you can give an interesting anecdote on how you ended up in writing writing a book in the form of anecdote, that is very important for a proposal. The third component of a proposal is writing a synopsis in the content development protocol. Synopsis is just like giving a bird's eye view. Somebody who sees your synopsis should get the landscape of your entire book. They should be able to view your entire book. So you have to give the para by para description of your chapters. In essence, you have to filter the essence of every chapter. For instance, if you are going to write 5 chapters, you should write the first chapter in 10 lines, the second chapter in 10 lines. In 2 pages, you can write your entire synopsis. But one important thing about synopsis is give a realistic description without any exaggeration, because some books exaggerates. Like you can't say this is perhaps the groundbreaking book on this subject, or you can't say other book makes tall claims and promises, this book delivers. So do not come out with such hyperbolic statements. Don't promise more than what you can deliver. And in your synopsis, you have to say how differently you have approached the topic. For instance, let's say you are going to write a book on positive thinking. There may be a lot of books on the topic. Now you should justify to the editor how differently you have approached this topic. And you should also justify why there is a need for that particular book in the market. So this is a synopsis where you give a bird's eye view about your book. And fourthly, the next thing which you need to remember is you have to give an author bio. Usually the author bio, you write the author bio in the proposal in 4 or 5 lines. Let me briefly tell you what is expected in the author bio. Author bio is actually a cameo shot about the author's sterling qualities. See, it usually appears at the back flip of the page or the inside flip. Now, if you see the author bio will not be more than 5 or 6 sentences, where it should be in the third person narrative A. B, the author should talk about his educational credentials, if it is worth mentioning. B, he should talk about his experience, because some people will have immense experience and may write groundbreaking books without educational. And the third thing is expertise. So you can focus on all these things in the third person narrative. And one important guideline for writing the author bio is it should not be more than 5 or 6 lines. And the purpose of writing the author bio is whoever reads your bio should be convinced that you are the right person to write that book on that area. So that is the purpose of the author bio. They should feel that you are the right person to write that particular book. So I have also given you a link below that gives you comprehensive information on how to draft an author bio. You can just visit it. So that is very briefly about the author bio. Let's move to marketing. You have decided your book. Let me tell you, if you publish, there are sometimes you publish even in Kindle Direct Publishing. Maybe you get recognition for your work. But if nobody purchases the book, then it's definitely your precious time is lost, because you're working without royalty. So the reason why even good books are not sold in Amazon or even in any direct publishing models is because the writer is not marketing the book properly. So in the proposal, how are you going to target? Who is your target market, and how are you going to focus on the target market? You should give focus to that. Probably there are two, everybody is aware that there are two academic platforms like the ResearchGate and Academia. As I said, if you are doing research in cognitive linguistics or any area, you go there and look at people who are doing the research in that particular area, target them, and then send them an email letter, or you create a kind of a blog, or about your book, you can record a YouTube video about your book, prepare a teaser for the book and send it to the target audience, or you may send some book excerpts to the other people, or you may even host a webinar and give a teaser for others. Of course, this webinar is no such promotion. So you can host a webinar like that. So before you start publishing, you should gather the target market. And if you do that and then go for direct publishing, definitely there will be a lot of people who would publish your book, and you will also get better royalty for your work. So these are the steps. The next step is to have the time frame for your book. See, time frame in your proposal. You need to say, how long are you going to take to write the book? Is it going to be 1 year, or is it going to be 8 months? Is it going to be 1.5 years? For instance, in 1 month, how many words will you be able to write? How do you translate that to 6 months? How do you translate that into 1 year? So realistically, you should give a matrix to the publisher on how much time you will take to complete that particular book. In fact, if you just go and browse in Google on time management matrices for book publication, you may find matrices, you may download that and personalize it based on your requirements. So in your proposal, book publication proposal, this is very, very important. Just a minute, it could be an important call. Hello?
Time is running out.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am, just I'm finishing. Okay. So yeah, the next step is develop a chapter outline. See, I'll just very quickly run you through because I'm almost done. As I said, I have two important agenda. Agenda one was about telling you the different avenues for publication, and objective two is to give you a cameo shot of the content development protocol. I am almost on the verge of completing the content development protocol. So after you decide your time frame, you have to write a chapter outline template. Suppose your book is on leadership. You can say, these are my chapters. These are my sub-chapters. So you should give what your sub-chapters are and how you are going to develop your sub-chapters. So you should give a kind of a blueprint to the editor or in any model. And then you have to write a full sample chapter. How do you write a full sample chapter? Go and refer to the best sellers in your genre. Pick up some books. For instance, if you want to write a book on linguistics, pick up all the books on linguistics on your area and see the sample chapter. See the first chapter. Based on that, you may write the first chapter. Having done all this, you have to ultimately settle for writing a blurb in your book. Blurb, as I said, maybe I'll read the last line of the blurb because of the paucity of time. The blurb is, if you want to succeed in both talking and listening, read this book. This is the blurb of the book, Crucial Conversation. Likewise, you can come up with a short blurb of the book. In 2 lines, explain the book very, very clearly. So this is about the content development protocol. And I have just given you this talk. I have given you a sample proposal because we cannot, in the context of what I have discussed, I would like to analyze a sample proposal, but we can't do that in a webinar. So I have posted a link to my sample proposal. It is not because it's a benchmark proposal, because I couldn't see other complete proposals online. So I have posted a proposal. You can see this proposal, or you can even check online for different proposals. So these are some of the things which I wanted to say. And finally, before I wind up, I would just like to end where I started. See, as Ernest Hemingway says, there is nothing to writing. All you have to do is sit down at a typewriter and bleed. It is true that we have to sit and bleed. Maybe the content has changed. We sit before a system and bleed. But the central message is, it is true that writing is laborious. It is true that writing is cumbersome. But what is true is, writing is difficult, but publishing is a cakewalk. With the number of options we have, with the number of models we have, with the number of publishing houses we have, publishing is certainly a cakewalk. And this is a central message that I would like to leave. And if you have any more questions, you can just send in your queries regarding book publication and I will respond to it. So I think I may not have time to take questions because there's less than a minute. You can, of course, post your questions to me. And bang on, I think I have completed both these objectives, objective A and objective B. Thank you for listening.
Okay. Sir, hello.
Hello. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
I can
Can you all hear me? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I thank Dr. Vijay Kumar for his wonderful presentation. He gave so many inputs on how to publish, how to write and publish a non-fiction book. I'm sure he has inspired many participants to write and publish book. He has, meticulously prepared his slides so as to give a clear picture on how to, go about writing and publishing a book. As there was no time, for question and answer session, you may mail him your